Alright folks, welcome to the final day of the Thanksgiving special event, the Massacre at Darkmore Campaign. I'm on the final round, and I am on my, I've gone through 8 strikes to get this guy, and I have not won it. So we're going to try one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and stream this and see how it goes. So just to show you some of the decks I've tried already. So I've tried this one, Logothrox. This is one of the closer ones, but he just has so much. It's such a fast deck that you don't really have time to build on the poison, you don't have time to build on the debuffs. It's nice, but the endgame just isn't there. Logothrox himself can't hang with Rowboat. The only warlord who really can go toe-to-toe with Rowboat is going to be Abaddon. It doesn't seem like a good choice. So let's just look at my deck, the decks I've done. So I started with a Skulltaker deck, and let's let that load for a second. Yeah. So it's a nice balance of fear, poison, and shields. Got that durability, that long-lasting power, and then can really hit hard and finish things with Skulltaker's ability. This is my go-to deck. I use this in most campaigns. Really, really strong. Got me all the way through to the final round, where it failed utterly against Guilliman. It's actually one of the better ones. I may try it in a minute, but next deck I tried was Huron. This one, give that just a sec, really, really leans on the power of the Lord of Change, which is great, especially in this deck. Psychic actually is very powerful against Rowboat because he has the one Psyker. It's Tigurius, and Tigurius is scary, but as long as you keep him on the board and can keep feeding him cards, he'll keep using Psychic attacks for the most part, which gives you a chance for your Lord of Change to really just like lay into everything else. The problem is the non-Tigurius cards in the deck are really hard hitting, and can pretty much kill any single card. And so having all your ducks in one basket there with that Lord of Change is definitely, didn't work. So that didn't work, but I may try it again in a minute. And then again, the Logothrox deck is the one I tried most recently that did okay. This did particularly well. This card is just insanely strong, and took out the initial waves by itself, and then the endless cards debuffed the other stuff, but I just didn't have the finishing end game to kill him before he finished off Logothrox, so excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot with Abaddon. Abaddon is one of my favorite warlords, so I just have never gotten to work. Let's take a look at this deck. So I want some sustain. Lucius with the recent extra stat is absolutely amazing. I really stand by Fabius Bile. It's just an incredible card. I don't know about Karn. He's got the hitting power, he's got the Furious Charge, which is really good. I'm going to go ahead and try this as is. Maybe, let me remove this. Let's see what other cards we can put in here. So I just said that the Sil-esque is extremely powerful, which is absolutely true. Poison, this particular mission doesn't really have time to benefit from that poison. Another card I would want in here is Taunt. This is a really, really skinny deck. I'm going to go ahead and remove Bile. As good as he is, I'm going to put the cheap Taunts in here to give him just a little time to kind of clear stuff out. And then see how many points I have left. So we're looking at 51, which I think is World Clamor territory. I may actually try this guy, because he does have some very powerful cards, and being able to hit them really hard and ranged, and also hit them, is that 51? Let's see. World Claimer's been really powerful. I like that debuff. He's got the fear. I may spread this out a little bit more, though. Fear is really, really strong in this particular final battle of the campaign. Oh, look, we're at 29. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back in. That max level Furious Charge is good, especially if I can drop him, especially if I can drop him after some of the other cards. Let's see how this goes. This is my first time trying Abaddon, Abby, since kind of early in the campaign. I really like him, especially with his added ability, but he's one of arguably the least improved cards in the game for one of the legendaries that got a bonus. His bonus is good. He got Inspire, which is just a flat bonus to his attack damage, which is excellent, especially since he has that Furious Charge. He hits really hard on the landing, but I would have hoped for something else. I'm going to try to power through this guy. There are no taunts. There are some fear, but that's fine. As a card that doesn't do a ton of damage, that's a good one to kind of feed Karn. Ew. I'll kind of do that. This is a risky play. I started with all my strong cards on the deck, but I do need to power through the first couple waves so I have something meaningful in the later stages of this particular mission. So that's what keeps getting me, is I end up with my Warlord solo against Rowboat and at least one other bodyguard, which is just not the situation we want to be in. A reason I put Lucius against Tigurius is he does Furious Charge twice, so I get to dock 2 shields, and then I can hit him in melee and get a 3rd off as well, which is pretty great. Now I'm already bleeding some hit points in a small deck, so I better hope that things go well for me, and that didn't go well. That sniper really is a big deal in this one. Even if he does Psychic, which was probably the best call, but also didn't really do the damage that I was worried about, so good. Now, I talked about this before. I've been going back and forth about whether or not you actually want to focus on killing Tigurius, just because he's so hard to kill. In this particular match, though, I may actually put Karn against him, just because I can actually potentially burn him down. And he is a big threat. But, as I've been saying in some of the... I was talking to myself. One of the great things about having Tigurius on the board is as long as he's there, it encourages him... Well, that sucks. And I should have seen that coming. It encourages him to play... or to do psychic attacks, which is not usually his best attack. Especially if I have other stuff on the board that can either also psychic back or... who can also psychic back or can take advantage of non-psychic attacks. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, if he's hitting hard for psychic, he's doing less other attack types. Okay, let's see how this goes. So I should... my goal here is to just nuke this board. It is possible, if unlikely... No, I can't actually kill all 3 of these on the drop. Which is unfortunate, because that's going to mean I am face-to-face with Guilliman with a significant melee buff. Now, I've got a really scary board, but his is going to be scarier, and that is going to mean I'm going solo against 500 health. And with that melee buff, he may be able to just one-shot me. Which we'll see in a second here. Okay, so that didn't work. We're going to try one other Warlord I haven't tried, and I just kind of wanted to show my process here. So I've shown you the decks that I've already tried that didn't work well. I think I am going to go back to Skulltaker. I'm going to give one other Warlord one shot for, ooh, Mask. You know what the heck? So I'm going to try Ahriman. This is a really, you know what? So the issue I ran into with Huron was his endgame was, he's flimsy, his endgame wasn't great, but I think that I may have built this wrong. Man, okay, how do I beat that? Endless cards don't really help very much in Huron. I don't need that many. What do I get with 40 points? I've got a taunt and an endless, so it's a nice balance there. I've got my heal, which is really good. Excuse me. 42 points gives me this guy, which is good. He can counter in the melee. I think that's better. He'll counter in melee, and counter in psychic, so if Tigurius is on the board doing psychic attacks, these guys will be able to attack back with psychic without getting any retribution. So it should be kind of a nice balance here. But we'll see. Huron's ability I really like, but one weird thing is you're leaning on the Lord of Change to do heavy psychic attacks, but also the cards you're killing are not psychers. So the bonus attack buffs you're getting are mostly counter attacks in melee and ranged, which is good, but puts you in kind of an awkward position. So you're not putting your best foot forward, as they say. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy here. So I'm most concerned about the sniper. Perfect. Yeah, why not? Sweet. Okay, so this is actually a really good start. Again, the biggest reason I lost with Huron before was because of that sniper. That sniper took out my Lord of Change. That's not the only reason. The Lord of Change is really vulnerable to that big game hunter, so that's the other drop I need to avoid. So those are the two drops I need to make sure I don't hit. Another advantage to Psychic is you can debuff throughout the game, so you can prevent... So you can have at least one card... of course. You can have at least one card on the board that is actively preventing Guilliman from coming in and swinging too hard, like that 700 damage he just dealt me. But that sucks, so I'm about to lose the Lord of Change here, and there's not a lot I can do about it. That's not true. This is perfect. So I'll go ahead and get my taunt card killed. And then I'll try to save this guy by dropping Fabius. Now I have a big incentive to kill both of those other cards. Well, maybe. So there's one more fear card coming. And then there's also the big game hunter. So the one thing I want to make absolutely sure doesn't happen is the big game hunter drops against my Lord of Change. This sets me up well, because that's going to be the next drop, and the next kill should be this guy on the left. And also, I've taken down all of the... Okay, so the Lord of Change's area effect is really good, because that's taken down all the shields on Tigurius, and he's in a really bad spot. If I can get the finishing blow with the Lord of Change on Tigurius, that would be great. Just because I'll get that massive psychic buff. If I can get the finishing blow on Ventress, that would be even better, but now this sucks. Okay, so I'm about to lose the Lord of Change to the Fury's Charge from Calgar. I'm still in an okay position because Bile is about to... Oh no, that's not great. So I have 3 cards left in the deck. Yuck. So I did that to avoid getting the return fire to kill both of my cards. I knew it was going to kill one, but I was hoping not both. Man, this is a tough deck. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to go ahead and lean on psychic attacks. Bile is going to die, no matter what kind of attack he does. If I am lucky, Zantep can hit back hard enough that I can kill Ventress. So it's not a complete waste. But I'm just not going to be able to deal the 500 health to Guilliman. Okay. Oh, come on. By 1. Okay. Yeah, so he's going to kill me. He's going to swing back and one-hit me. No, or not. Okay, so... Alright, we're going to give this one more try with my Skull Taker. I'm going to tweak it. One of the things I want to make sure to do is that I have heavy hitters that are under 40 points, so that I'm not vulnerable to that that charge. Because I like the shields, so I got 2 more tries. Skull Taker is my go-to. He's the one I've beaten Guilliman with before, but that was pre-double buff, so these double talent cards. So the one card I have to remove is World Claimer. I still have Poison in there. The Poison does a really good job of dealing with the fear. But I'm looking to have multiple cards under 40. Talked about how good Lucius is, especially with the changes now. This guy is also really, really good. Ooh, honey got... Yeah, okay, let's do that. Dropping for 90 damage, so he will kill... He'll one-shot anything under, what, 120 or 110 or so hit points. And more than that, it's closer to... He can single hit a 200-point card, or a 200 health card, because... He'll Furious Charge and then hit it on my turn. And so I'll replace this guy with him. Gives him a harder hit on the drop and a little more staying power. As much as I like Bile, I'm going to try a different healer to kind of downgrade that and kind of spread out my points here. because they're all max. The cheapest healer is going to be 16 points over here. But for 18, I get this guy. What abilities does he have? So he's got 150, 130, 147, or 49, 174. Yeah, so the ranged attacks are probably worth the extra points. Still have 12, so I could bump my 11 point to a 23. What do we have in that range? That would be really good. Really high melee damage, target acquired, so I can pick a target and take it down. As much as I like poison, I think that's probably a better call. Also just good health and a very high melee attack. And so I still could change around for 30 points. So let's drop this guy. And so I could do Zantap. That max level Inspire is really good. He has the Psychic counterattack. He's got good health. His melee is not great. The alternative is him. Let's go ahead and lean on the Furious Charge. I'm going to try to burn through the early stuff. I still have both shields. I've got one Endless card. I don't have any poison, but it's not, you know. Hopefully the extra damage beef I've got will help get through that. Alright, let's see here. So, where do we start? So first couple drops are going to be the fear cards. I'm going to go ahead. That was not a great draw. None of those were cards I really wanted to open with. Okay, there's that guy. And still, draw didn't help a whole lot. Go ahead and try it. Now I should be playing these against weaker cards, but this is kind of good because I'm attacking first, so I'm going to get a really devastating opening, which is, oh, great. Well, that's not great, because the death blow will be pretty much wasted against those shields. The good news is it is my turn, so I should be able to kill this guy on the left, and then the next drop should be the sniper, which will mean that he'll probably Psychic, and then Tigurius will hit my guy on the left here and probably not kill him. Perfect. Okay. Haha, you can see I've played this guy a few times. Still have all my shields, which is a great spot to be in. I'm quickly making progress on the other bodyguards. That was awesome because I tanked it, where that would have killed my guy here. It still is probably going to kill him, but the good news there is I can still move him over, so when Tigurius does Psychic, which he will, it's not going to do any harm to... I won't waste my explosive guy, so I'll still get that explosion later, which is awesome. So I've taken down, what, 2 cards? And I'm about to take down another 2 and trade it for 1. So I'm doing well here in terms of durability, and again have the shields. So I've lost 1 card, taken down 3. Tigurius' shields are down, fantastic. So the aggressive burst damage is working. He's going to kill me, but he will then take the explosive damage back. And that'll also weaken Tigurius a little bit. Now here, ideally, I don't want to kill that guy on the right. Just because he's the weakest, I want to kill these other 2 before anything really scary comes in. So let's try to take him down. He's got the lower health. It's possible I can kill him with just 2. And I'm still sitting at 4 cards in the deck with 2 shields. Nice. Okay. And next drop is going to be another scary. Ooh, Calgar. If I can kill Calgar before Guilliman drops, that would be fantastic. It's pretty unlikely, but not totally out there. Alright, what other cards do I have left? So I've got my shields. I have my healer. Ooh, interesting. So that's great. So I'll beef these guys. Well, it's a little bit of a waste here. And I say it's a waste because these cards are mostly dead. And no matter what I do here, they're probably going to die. I'm going to go ahead and try to hit Calgar a bit. And I'm in a good spot where I probably will have a card on the wings on my right. So I want that to be something fairly hard hitting. He's probably going to hit me with Psychic. And this is a good case for my healer. So doing okay. I think I got a little bit too aggressive towards Calgar. I don't think I'm going to be able to kill him. Wow. Come on, man. So that only took down one shield, but ow. And so I'm going to kill both of these middle two. So I will have a bodyguard to the right against Rowboat. Not a very good one. Hopefully I can soften him up a little bit with the guy on the right and my shield guy if he doesn't die immediately. He's going to hit so hard, there's a good chance I will just die outright. Yeah, there we go. Okay, great. Okay. And his melee attack, so I have a debuffed melee attack. It's 253 with that bonus, so he's going to kill me. Unless I had a melee debuff, and I don't. Yikes. Blah. Okay. Well, that may have been my last attempt. No, I've got one more. Okay. We're going to give Huron another chance. I'm going to go heavy on Fear this time, though. Really heavy on Fear and Psychic. So we're going to lead with Keeper of Secrets. And then I'm just going to go through and grab all of the Fear cards. And I'm looking for the max level Fear cards. It's going to make me really vulnerable to Big Game Hunter. You know what? I'm going to try the one I haven't tried yet. I'm going to go Mask. The defensive bonus on the Mask is really good. I think I am right to... And so he's mostly hitting on melee and ranged. So I can kind of prepare for that. I will go ahead and throw my shields in here, just because it's nice to have that defense, because they did hold things down pretty well. Alrighty, buddy. There you go. Those are just such strong cards, especially with max shields. They are better at kind of middle levels because max level cards are hit really, really hard. I do want this, just because she's good at everything. I will probably throw this in here, and then... Now what sucks about that is this is a really powerful deck. The other problem too is that I'm going to end up facing down Guilliman with the Mask, because I don't think any of these are going to survive long enough to actually go head to head with... yeah, we're not doing that. So I don't want to be vulnerable to Big Game Hunter. I want things that can actually take down... It's also Big Game Hunter. So... that's really good though. We're going to throw that one in there. Just because that Big Game Hunter is extremely powerful. Phoenix is really powerful. With that addition of the attack on drop, this guy hits really, really hard and very quickly. And has both the attack on drop and barrage. I think he's the only card that has that combination, so that's pretty good. And I'm looking for cards that will attack back with multiple attack types. He's cheap. And who will also hit very hard and ideally have some fear. If I can get some debuffs, that would be great as well. We're going to go with the cheaper snipe. I've still got 64 points. I want to fit a couple cards in here. And I'm also keeping an eye out for melee debuffs, so that's a really good taunt. So that I can ready a few times and reduce the debuff he's got. I'm going to go ahead and throw Neems in there. Having that area effect shield remover really, really helped against Tigurius. And then I've got 27. I've got a lot of ranged. I'm going to go ahead and throw this guy in there. And then I've got 2 points to spare. I could go up to a 19. But we're... Ooh, Inspire and Fear. That's a good combo. Yeah, that'll help me do more damage. It's risky. It's a little bit more glassy. But that Inspire is really going to help, and the Fear will help keep her alive too. I have 3 extra points, so I can go up to 28. And I like that, but the psychic buff is not as good as what I've got. So I get to, let's see, 34. Give me this guy, which is better. But I like kind of where that is. 48. Doesn't really help much, so we'll go ahead and skip that. And I'm looking at just which cards I could remove and then use that 3 extra points. 35. Give me this guy, who's quite good early on and not vulnerable to... Man, really, we're going to do that? Yeah, we're going to do that. I need some sustain. Let's give it a shot. This is my last attempt. I'm not terribly confident, but we'll see. Alright, so let's see what we got. This guy again with that regen. His first couple drops aren't super durable, or aren't particularly threatening, and that regen will help me kind of soak some of this up. I'm going to pop this guy in here. Not soak some of those up. So he's going to tank some fire. He's got regen. Anytime he's not taking direct damage, he's going to heal up a lot, which is going to be really nice. We'll do this. I'm assuming we'll have either a sniper or Tigurius. Perfect. So when he starts psychicking, I will be psychicking back. Psychicking. I don't think that's a word. Yeah. So here's where we immediately get to kind of an issue, is I don't really have a great attack back. I don't want to ready, which would usually be my go-to with the mask. And I don't want to use psychic because I'm up against Tigurius. So we'll go ahead and use ranged, which is going to take a little bit of a brunt off Neebs. But Neebs is pretty flimsy, so I didn't really expect him to last long. Man, Guilliman. We're going to go ahead and go here. And because I have a scary taunt up, I am going to go ahead and go Psychic. So I can double shield off Tigurius and take down that melee stat a bit on the right there, and beef up my own melee stat. I'm already... So shields are down on Tigurius, which is good, but I've already lost a card, and I don't think I've gained any. So that's not exactly where I wanted to be, but it could be worse. Tigurius is in a really bad spot, so that's good. Let's see. So his next drop is going to be a snipe, which is awesome, because that means that it should drop on Neebs, which is not great. I don't want to lose Neebs, but at the moment he's pretty weak and probably going to die anyway. So that opens me up with a really good ranged attack, which actually means that the snipe is going to drop on my healing guy over here, which is not as good. The good news, though, is that most of the heavy hitting stuff is already gone, and he's got to do a weird mix between psychic. If he does... Yeah, so if he does ranged, my dude at least gets to hit back first. So that actually is okay. I will get a board wipe here. Fairly comfortable one. And then his next drop is going to be the Last Fear, and then both of the beefy cards. Now I've still got 4 cards in play. Sweet. Okay, so putting the Fear against my Inspire is awesome, because it's going to take a while to kill it. The downside, though, is that those Furious charges are going to wipe board, and I'm probably going to get a total board wipe anyway. So they're going to wipe the cards in front of them, and then his actual attack, it's probably going to wipe my board. It is nice getting that revenge hit. That's kind of what I was hoping for. And then his ranged is going to kill mine. Well, yeah. She did get to attack back first, which is great. And now here, I'm going to get tricky, because I want this guy dead. I want Ventress dead, because he's got the big game hunter, and he's the biggest threat on the board to my Lord Discordant. And the Lord Discordant is the one I'm kind of hoping is going to be my endgame piece, who will take down Guilliman from the side. But that is going to mean taking out 2 of these guys. that's a decent play. Got him and did a solid hit back to Calgar. But still, max level Calgar with that much of a bonus, he's going to kill anything I put in front of him. Except maybe this dude with the shield. Oh, look at that. I'm going to ready. That will also drop that melee buff. Sweet. Okay, so that's working. It's still a huge melee attack, and my next card is going to be Mask. So that's not good. Yeah, I don't know how to beat this. Wow, top level Mask has a decent amount of hit points. Mine's pretty low level, so I've never really seen this. Ooh. So I can actually tank one of his hits, but no, I can't because the guy in the wings. I could double debuff his melee, but no matter what I do, Calgar's going to kill the Lord Discordant. So, well, no, but I'm dead. So there we go. Just as planned. Got my Lord Discordant open on the wing, but too late because everybody's already dead. Okay, that was my attempt. I hope you liked seeing some of those efforts, and hopefully they help inspire you to something that will get you to victory. Appreciate it, and have a great one.